I'm a day late from training, which is obviously not a good thing. Now, I was supposed to yesterday incline bench, which then would mean today would be squats and such. But I ran out of time, basically. So I'm going to incline bench today. I tell a lie. What I'm going to do, so my normal training is Tuesday is incline bench, Wednesday squat, Thursday is pause bench, today is Wednesday. Normally I have Friday off, and Saturday will be bench again. I also would have dumbbell accessory work to do. I don't have any dumbbells here. And this is the very last week of this training block. So it doesn't make sense to change everything just for this. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do my flat bench and my incline bench now. Tomorrow I will squat, and then Friday will be off, and then Saturday I will go to ASC and do my comp bench, my touch and go bench, and also do my dumbbell accessory stuff, because it's the last week of the block anyway. So I'll get this set up for this. So I'll do the pause bench first, because that's more specific. Also, because this is already at the right height. And then after this, I'll then go on to the incline bench. I feel like I should probably move these plates. Need to vacuum in here as well. Super windy outside, so as soon as I open the garage door to get in, so the garage door is there, it just ends up all flying in. But around that way, I've been very lazy. You can't get to the garage through the house, and you can't get out of the house into the garden. You have to come out of the front door, which is a bit strange. So I will, in future, what I'm going to do is install some lights outside, because walking around the house, although it's fine, you end up going through some grass. So I need to put some paving down or whatever, or at least some lights as a minimum, so that I can go around when it's dark. It's not super late, but it's pitch black outside. Now I should change the music, because otherwise it might not let me use it or something. So pause bench is a day early, but I've not done incline bench. So in theory, that should be fine. Also, I forgot just how close this is. So it's good, because it'll force me to be in a better position. So working weight is supposed to be 4x2 at 135. That'd be pretty good, to be honest. Getting to decent amounts of volume. And today I was going to go to ASC. So this is excuse, reason, call it whichever one you want. So yesterday I had a bunch of stuff I was planning on doing. One of which was to get the exercise library list made, as daft as that is, so that then today I could go and actually film it at ASC, so then I would have had a chance to train as well. But because I've been busy, I didn't. So today I've been putting the exercise library together. All I've got is squat, bench and deadlift variants, and I've not even gone into as much detail as I wanted to, but I had to cut off at some point. I've got 138 variations. I need to film them, write up the notes, upload them to the app and to all my clients and stuff. So that's a big job. I'm going to try and do it on either Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember the specific. This week, I don't know if it's because it's Christmas or what, but like the whole week just is out of whack, out of sync. Anyway, 60 kilos. pause bench. All fine. I quite like having this space, but it's a problem I didn't think I would ever have. Because I know I can go train at any time, there's no urgency to go and train. So I just put it off and off and off. So I'm going to need to get in some kind of routine for this. I think with the way my work is, I'll probably train in the middle of the day. So like just after lunchtime, that's when I like to train. So I found my exercise bike, found it, like I knew where it was. I've got the exercise bike sort of set up. So I'll probably start using it again. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I don't know. It's more the practice. Oh, I know why. Because I don't have Wi-Fi everywhere in the house. And normally I would go on the bike whilst I'm doing some work. But I need to be plugged in to use the Wi-Fi. And until the various pieces of equipment come that I need to sort that out, I can't be plugged in. Well, I can't use my laptop whilst I'm on the bike, which means I can't do the work whilst I'm on the bike, which I realise is a terrible excuse, but that's the way it is. Stuff's about priorities and choices and that, isn't it? Anyway, there must be a hook somewhere knocking around that I can use. There we go. Right, let's see if this is actually recording. Right, this is working, so that's good. Now I will get the velocity on. Have I got the Bluetooth on? This is turned on. Still thinks I'm in the middle of a session. This is the velocity tracker, not my app. Unfortunately, I don't have the two integrated. That'd be cool if it was. Bench press, pause, 100 kilograms. One set, one rep. That's fine, no dramas. Elbows feel good, pecs feel good, everything feels good. I am still being a bit sensible with my weight jumps. So the next weight is supposed to be 135. I'll just go I think I'll go 125 and then 135 after. Today's the first day backtracking. The first day, as if I had loads of time off. I had 2 days of not tracking. So I've had 4 or 5 days of having lactose, which I know makes me feel terrible, but I'm accepting of the consequences of my decisions, and so that's fine. So today, back to like normal, if you like. So far I have had, I don't need collars when I've got the calibrated collars on, do I? For breakfast, I had a allegedly healthy ready meal, which was about 60 grams of protein, it says, 100 grams of carbs, roughly, and like 15-20 grams of fat. It said it was like 850 calories. Don't know how accurate it is, but that was that. I also had a sugar-free Monster. I then, for lunch, had, super exciting, 250 grams of chicken, half a can of sweet corn, and half a jar of like some curry sauce and a bunch of rice that was cooked the other day. I think that's everything I've had today. Nothing particularly exciting. So, I wonder if this will connect. This is my old phone, so without any Wi-Fi, yeah, it's not connecting to macro factor. Right, I think I might need glasses. I need to get my eyes tested. 125. 125, done. Last warm up. Not very eventful, just fine. So yeah, today first day backtracking. My target are, so it's set on macro factor to 225 protein, because halfway between 200 and 250, 500 carbs and 100 fat. So what's that? So call the protein 200 because that will make the maths easier. So 200 protein and 500 carbs. That's 700 times it by 4. That's 2,800 calories from the protein and carbs. And then the fat is 100 grams. So times it by 9. That's 900 calories. So 2,800 plus 900 is 3,600 calories. So that's what macro factor said my calorie target is. Is that right? Or is that what the... No, that's what it was when I was in the deficit. I think I changed it to 600 grams of carbs. So 600 grams of carbs, that's an extra 400 calories. So that's 4,100 calories. And then the extra 25 grams of protein, because we just used 200 instead of 225, that's another 100 calories. So in total, that is 4,200 calories a day as my target for maintenance. I expected my maintenance to drop whilst I've not been doing as much activity, but although I don't feel like I have, and I don't wear my stopwatch anymore, I haven't been doing like traditional cardio or steps in like a specific target or whatever. I have been active, like just unpacking and doing odd bits and pieces and like silly stuff like sorting out the door handles so that they don't creak in the doorways and stuff like that. So maybe maintenance hasn't dropped that much. So anyway, 4,200 is the target. So far today I've had about 1,600. I also had some fruit. And it's 135. It's 6 o'clock now. So I'll have probably one more meal and a shake of some description. Shops are open as normal, and there's a Tesco's literally like 2-minute walk from here. A big Tesco's as well. So if I need to get stuff, I can. Anyway, 135. That was all over the shop. I forgot to take off my shoes before the set, so I did it before I unracked it. It just felt very lopsided. I wonder if the bench's in the middle or I was just off. It's weird, like there was no doubt that I was going to lift it. Bench looks central. Maybe it's just a little off, I don't know. Anyway, 3 more sets of that. It does say or cap at RP8. I think I could have done 2 more of that. Not sure. This would be a huge like volume PB for me, to be honest. Where's my drink? So I've got these plug-in lights that were in the conservatory. Just brought them in here so I can see a bit better now. And I found that little speaker. It's ideal because it won't go that loud, so it's not going to bother people, but it's loud enough that I've got something when I'm training. I'm just going to watch that back. So that was alright. Set 1 done anyway. So there's 3 more to go. I need to find, sounds ridiculous based on what's right here in front of me. I need to get a cardboard box that's small that I can put my chalk in so it doesn't make a mess everywhere. Saying that, it doesn't need to be kept like pristine because no one else is going to train in here. Well, it's not likely anyone else is going to train here. Obviously I don't want it to be a tip. But yeah, so that shouldn't be a problem. Right. Let's film this on this one so I don't have to interrupt. Next sets, 1, 3, 5. Go with the video. I forgot it. Don't like you playing music whilst you're doing it. Right. Nope. Try it on this one, see if that works. There we go, that works. It'll be a nice crotch view for that video. So 2 reps, but actually do 2 decent reps this time. That's the plan. Still felt uneven, but they weren't difficult. That's a strange one, that. Maybe I am just being uneven. It wouldn't surprise me, I guess. I mean, up until 3 days ago when I started using this, I didn't realise just how lopsided it was anyway. Just because I'm catching it on the bench. So we'll give this a watch and then make a decision. I don't think, there's no doubt that I would be able to get another rep or 2, to be honest. But it was really slow. Yeah, watching it. Looks fine. Just, it is uneven because I'm catching the rack when I do it. Yeah. So I will put some music back on if it will let me. There we go. So yeah, 2 more. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hit all of the incline bench sets after this, to be honest. It's supposed to be 4 sets of 5 with 92.5. Set 1 will be a PB. It'd be cool if I can. Anyway, we shall see. So, there isn't really much exciting to tell you about at the minute. I weighed this morning 90.2, I think. I feel like I'm not lean, but I feel like in reasonable condition. For me, this is reasonable condition. Like I've been a lot leaner. I mean, I competed earlier on this year at 74, 75 or something after a massive water cut. So I got down to 82 kilos with diet and lots of walking, to be honest. It was mostly walking. I got up to doing like 20,000 steps a day. I was literally just on the treadmill all day whilst I was working. And then I did a water cut from 82.5 point something down to 75. Weighed in, competed the next day, so it was a 24-hour weigh-in. And then it was more of like just a challenge to see if I could do it. The reason for the powerlifting competition was so that I had something to train for, and I had a set deadline as well. So I dropped it all in like, I think in about 10 weeks I dropped about 10 kilos, and then I dropped another 7 kilos in a water cut. I wouldn't recommend it. Strength wasn't very good. I think I only squatted like 210-ish. But I did it, it was fun. And then we went on holiday like the day afterwards. So I was super lean when we went on holiday, which was different. There weren't really any extra benefits to being that lean, apart from like having abs, but like didn't feel great. I tell a lie, walking and stuff like that is so easy. Cardio type stuff was so easy. But training, everything felt hard, especially unracking stuff. Squats and bench in particular just felt so hard in the hands and just in the body. So that was a difference actually, but that was a negative thing, not a positive. Right, I've been talking for long enough. 135, set 3. Right, come on. Can't even see the rack. The nailing. Shoes off, remember this time. Oh. 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 That was hard. I could definitely have done one more. Could I have done 2 more? I don't know. I haven't. So last week, I think, I did this session at the commercial gym, and I only used 127, and it felt the same kind of difficulty, but it was the same. It was the things I've talked about before. No spotter, rubbish bars, no chalk, so slippery, rubbish bench, unstable, so I didn't feel safe, and there was no one else in the gym that I would have trusted to spot me. So yeah, this is still progress, I guess, but it's a lot safer for definite. I'm just wondering, I'm torn between swapping these for the thinner bars, so I've got that extra little bit of space, versus just keeping these and force myself to keep that arch and to be a bit more even. So the pros of the thinner bars are I've got more wiggle room to play with. I'm not as likely to hit the bars. That's not as likely to throw me off or to make it easier, whichever way. The cons are basically the opposite of that. The other cons are I wouldn't trust the other bars. They are just solid steel bars for doing squats onto, and also the way these are, so these are flat, so if you lower the bar onto these, because they're broader, there's more surface area, it's better for the bars, whereas the others, because it's just a metal pipe, it can damage the bars if you end up having to dump it onto it. Now for bench it's not too bad because it's at the height where I would just set it down, but for squats there isn't a good squat height for me to just set it down, so I'd have to dump it. It'd only be dropping it 6 inches or something, but that's enough. That's enough that it would cause some damage to the bar or to the rack, whereas with these it wouldn't be. I don't want to be messing about up and down with these. And the other thing is, in my head, I kind of thought that this would be the base height, and then when I do incline bench, I'll put the other ones in because they're easier to get in and out at a higher height. I don't know. I know something else, it's really not that exciting. The flooring that I ordered, I got an email today to say that it'll be dispatched tomorrow and should be with me on Friday. So if that's the case, then I can start deadlifting here on Friday, which is cool. There's loads of real thin rubber mats, but they're like 5mm maybe. I don't think they're designed for heavy lifting, that are in here. So I'm going to pile them all up and make an area. And then on top of that, if I must be able to get some plywood somewhere around here. Just get a sheet of 2x4 or something, 4x8 even. Put that across the floor, so there'll be rubber mat, rubber wood. Then these mats that I've got are 40mm thick, so the same thickness as the ones I've got at the gym. But I've only got 2 meters, 2 meters by 50 centimeters worth, so I haven't got a right lot of them. So it's just going to be enough for me to stand on and to deadlift on, because the bar is 2.2, so there'll be 10 centimeters over each end, but I'll be deadlifting off of a bumper plate first, so only the bumper plate will actually be touching the plates anyway. So the others don't matter, as long as I use collars so the plates don't fly off. Don't know if you heard that. It sounds like Rach just got home. So I'm just going to go and check if she has. Because if she has, she'll need... I locked the house up and I don't know if she took her key with her. So I'll just go check that. I need to move you because you're in front of the door. What do you think to this? Got all the angles. I assume I'll be in the shot. This room is, I mean, it's big for a garage, but it's relatively small. So, set number 4. This needs to be a good one. It's the last one as well. Right. Shoes off. Well, flip-flops off. Come on. Oh. Yes. Oh. That threw me off. I just caught it on the second rep. Oh, strength was good. Just that first rep. At second rep even. Let's have a look at the velocity graph. What are you saying, Mr. Velocity Man? Oh no, that's not too bad. So, set 1 was 0.26 on average, set 2, 0.28, set 3, 0.23, set 4, 0.26. So set 3 was the worst. I'm not displeased with that. That must be some kind of volume PB as well. I mean, 135. I didn't really think about it, but it's basically 3 plates. So that's cool. Right, so if I'm mashing up my sessions, I want to do all the pressing I can. So there's 2 sessions to do. So the very first session was incline bench, dumbbell press, dumbbell laterals, push downs. The second session is pause bench, seated row, biceps, face pulls. So I've done the pause bench, so I think incline press would be next, but yeah, I should just get on with incline press, shouldn't I? Instead of coming up with all different reasons for doing this and that and whatever else. So I won't be using the velocity for this because I haven't been, so I want to keep things consistent. Nope, that can go in there. But what I will do is I need to adjust this, and my tape is up there, good. So it's 92.5 kilos. So this is a really, really silly thing. It's something that I used to do it, but I never really thought about it until I was watching like a it was like a CrossFit Games prequel or something. There's a chap called Pat Vellner, and he was like a chiropractic student or something whilst training for the CrossFit Games. And so his training time was dictated by the time he had between classes. And so, like, as part of his workouts, he would be in the middle of a proper CrossFit WOD, and he would be setting up or putting away stuff in whatever rest timing he had, just as a way to be more efficient. So now, when I'm training, I try and do that, but I also try and pay attention to, when I put weights away, what I will need out. So I will need out these plates afterwards, so I've kept them accessible. Now, I've not incline benched on this rack yet, so I don't know what height I'll need it to be at. So we'll find out in a second. I'm just going to, because I've not offloaded any of the other videos yet. Excuse me, hiccuping a lot. I don't know how much storage I've got, so I'm going to pause this and then restart it so that I don't lose any files. Okay, so I need to figure out what height this wants to be at. I don't know if I'm going to have to spin the bench around, you know, because that's going to be really awkward. Even if it's at the right height to unrack it, and there's no space for the bench to go any further back. But I am doing it. I'm going to do it inside the rack. Yeah, even if that was at the right height, that's going to be so awkward to unrack. So I'm going to need to spin this around, I think. I will move the camera, probably. Otherwise, you're just going to be looking at my glorious hair. By which I mean the messiest hair anybody has ever had, ever. So this is going to be the same issue, but the other way. Of that's the furthest forwards I can put it. I might have to have my feet up on the crossbar. Move that out of the way. And then it'll be what height I have it on to make sure that it fits. And then I'll mark it, same as I've marked the others. So let's try that one. So that's number 6. Remember this so that you can tell me. Number 6. It's going to be like twister getting into position for this. Oh, that's too high actually. That's a bit awkward as well. So this needs to be higher as well. I don't really want to do it outside the rack. So this needs to go down. I'm going to just put my phone down there so I don't end up bashing it in. So this is one lower. I suppose I could take the handle off it actually. I don't need to keep the handle on it. It's not like I've got far to move it. Yeah, I think. So, I'm going to take this little handle off it so that then I can get it all the way in here. If I've got an Allen key, which I do. So this is why I need to test these things out. See how strong I was feeling when I put this together. Oh, not very strong. That's depressing. Right. So, by moving this off, it's not a lot, but that'll give me an extra 10 centimetres or so. Any time today. Although this is convenient for moving it. will I go to the effort of unscrewing it and rescrewing it every time, or will I just leave it off? What would you do if it was yours? I'll attach this to it so I don't lose it. And then this should be the right setup. This is where I can't actually maneuver it now because I've done that. So this is now flush up against the front of the rack. It's in the middle. See what this is like. There we go. That's better. So that's the right height. That's the right height. So that works. This works. I'll try that one higher. Next thing is to do it with actual weight, and also to put these safety rails in. Make sure these are the right height too. This is all super exciting, I know. So we'll try this at this height. So these are the other safeties that I was talking about. They are just basically steel rods. So I've no doubt that they're strong. But I don't want to damage the bars. So if this works, then it's perfect, because then I don't have to move the bottom safeties whenever I'm doing anything that's not squat or bench. If this doesn't work, then I will probably change the safeties and use these thinner ones for benching as well, and then just put the other ones in for when I'm squatting. I'll go to a plate and see how this is. Should be fine though. We'll find out in a sec. And then I'll maybe move the camera around. Super, actually this looks like it should be alright. I mean, we'll find out in 12 seconds. So, we've got feet on the floor. Oh, that's just, nah, that's too high really. That's going to be a pin press. So I'd have to go one lower. I'd have to go one lower, which means I'd have to move the bench height. Do I want to do that? What would you do, person that's watching this right now? So either I will just move the other one up one instead of moving the other one and moving this one. So I'll pop this out the way over here, and then I think for bench I will potentially just have to move it further. That sound is awful, isn't it? Proper grating. Right. So this one's going up on. Am I in the wrong one? I'm in the wrong hole. If I just put that back in the same hole. Oh God, why am I 7 years old and finding this very funny? So that one is the one under 18. So this one. So can you see why I don't want to use these? I think this one is slightly warped. This is faffy to change. I realise it's very much a first world problem. I mean, I have a home gym, which is amazing. I'm super happy. But this is the slight inconvenience that I was talking about. Anytime today. Right, that's sorted. Let's put 80 kilos on. I'll move the camera. Will I put this in? Who knows? Right, 80 kilos. This shall be the last warm-up. Have you seen, as if you're going to answer me, but for real, have you seen where my collars are? Because I'm sure I had two of them. There's one there, but I cannot see the other one. It's going to be somewhere obscure or random, isn't it? Not on here, not in there, not in there. They're my squat shoes, not in there. I might be going insane. Maybe it's behind you. They're on the floor. Why didn't you tell me they're right here? Right. Anyway, so incline bench. Last warm-up set. Roll us forwards. Mm. 80 kilos completed. Now last week, possibly, or was it the week before, I did 90 for 4 sets of 5, and I think the first set was a PB. So today, 92.5. The target is 4 sets of 5 again, which again will be a PB. So that'd be cool. Hopefully I can get it. It's a reasonable amount of volume, to be fair, especially for me with my tiny maximum recoverable volume. Like it's a blessing and a curse in that, like, I can't actually recover from that much training, and also most of my training's not even that hard. It's very, very rare that you'll see something that's hard. And it's one of those things, I do like training hard, but if I do, then I just can't train as often, can't do as much, and I like training more, so it's that trade-off. And to make progress, I don't actually need to do that much. So why would I cause the extra fatigue and damage if I don't need to, if I'm making progress at a rate that I'm happy with? Also, unfortunately, training is not my full-time job. So that's a factor too. So this will be set number 1, 92.5. Again, there is a cap on this. I'm using RPE a lot at the minute, rather than just velocity, because being on different equipment in a different environment, even the simple thing of like the floor being sloped will affect the velocity, and the distance the bar is moving and whatnot could be slightly off. And also practically, with moving and stuff, I haven't always had the velocity, so it's easier. Like every session I haven't had the velocity, so it's simpler to use the RPE as the cap instead. With that said, I should actually do a set, shouldn't I? Right. 5 good reps, please. So this would be, even 1 rep will be a PB, to be fair. That was alright. Just like general I don't know, it's just fine. Nothing exciting about that. It's one of those movements that is fine, it's fine, it's fine, and all of a sudden it's not. For me, it feels like an overhead press in terms of how it feels strong and strong and strong, and all strength just disappears off the planet. Which way around does this go? It's very strange. So I was using this for hamstring curls the other day. Actually feels alright, but it's a real flimsy strap. I think with any decent weight, it might split. So I'm going to need to, moving into the next training block, what I'd imagine we'll do is Aaron will send me what he thinks I need to do, and I will have a look at it and see what actually works practically, and then send him it back and say, I'll do this instead, or I'll do that instead, or whatever. And he will either say, fine, or say, no, because X, Y, Z, whatever. It's unlikely it'll be something I've not thought about, but there is always a chance. And whole part, there's lots of different reasons to have a coach. For me, one of the main reasons is it's very difficult to be objective about yourself. So like I said, if I was just writing my own program, I would want to train hard. I would want to train hard all the time, and then I'll burn out and I'll get injured, which is obviously not great. And I wouldn't be as bad for it now, but when I was younger, I would program lots of the stuff I was good at, and not as much of the stuff that I'm not good at. So like benching, I'm not particularly good at benching. I wouldn't program much benching, which obviously isn't helping if improving my bench is a goal. And for me, because my bench is so low, relatively, there's lots of kilos to be made. Although saying that, at the minute it's not. So the 272 squat, having a 160 bench is not terrible. I would have thought it'd be a bit, maybe 165, 170. But I do think that day I was stronger, so potentially my bench is actually okay. My deadlift is obviously very low, but given that I only trained conventional for 8-ish weeks before that competition, that's not too bad. It's going to be a similar thing this time around, but my hamstrings, touch wood, my hamstrings both feel good at the minute, so I'll be reintroducing deadlifts. Maybe tomorrow, depends where I train, or it might just be more stiff leg deadlifts, and then I'll be able to start deadlifting again properly, hopefully on Sunday this week. So that'll be good. So I think, unless you're a heavyweight or have really weird leverages or something, you should be deadlifting more than you squat. And when I'm saying deadlift, I'm obviously not including sumo, because I'm not doing that anymore. With that said, let's do another set. That again, it was just fine. It's not very exciting, but I know that if I just go again straight away, I'll probably fail. But there's no like, there's no aggression needed. It's just, yeah, it's not that bad. Something I've noticed, I said about this yesterday, about like yesterday, the day before, whenever it was, about the breathing and stuff. And I thought it was because of not doing cardio and stuff, but upon reflection, thinking about it more, I think it's the dairy. Because I do remember when I first realised, I would get spots on my back and on my quads specifically. That's where they were worse. So I never really got acne as a teenager on my face, but I got it on my quads and a bit on my back. To be fair, on my back, it was just in the shape of my backpack, so that was more likely due to sweat and stuff. But I got it on my quads really bad. And then, even as an adult, this is going back 5, 6, 7 years, I would get spots on my quads quite often. And then I was having dairy. I stopped having it because of the lactose, and my breathing improved significantly. So now I feel like blocked up here, without being too gross, very like mucusy. I don't think I have a cold or anything. But so then it means when I'm talking, I'm getting a bit out of breath because I can't, like there's no, I don't know if you can hear that. I can barely breathe through my nose at the minute, which is already not good because my septum's deviated, so I basically only have one nostril. That combined with what I think is maybe excess secretions because of having lots of lactose and stuff over the last week or so is making it more difficult to breathe, because all my other markers and stuff are good, resting heart rate, blood pressure, stuff like that. So that's something that I could point to as being a potential thing. So in theory that should get better over the days and weeks as I stop again. And even just stuff like joints aching, like knees aching, shoulders, hips, whatever, always worse when I have lactose. So it's all very much, so if you don't know any different and you don't have any, if you don't know any different and you're having issues, it's not your fault because you just don't know any different. But once you know you have some kind of issue, so if most people can have it, lactose, and it's fine. Some people can't. Some people, gluten, wheat, whatever, fructose, like there's different things for different people. Now that I know, it's a conscious decision when I have it, and it's my fault entirely, so I have to deal with the consequences. So the consequences of that are my breathing is worse. I've started to get a couple of spots on my legs, actually. My sleep isn't as good. My joints are generally a bit achy. It's very strange. My stomach's not great at the minute. I'm bloated like 24/7. So all of that is self-inflicted. I'm just looking, there's a piece of wood up there that looks like it's half snapped off, I guess from whoever lived in here previously. I'm torn between fixing it and replacing it. The problem is, because it's rental, if you replace it, they might be funny about it. If you fix it, they might be funny about it. If you ask them to fix it, it might take a long time. So I don't know, I need to have a think about that. Might just replace it. It's literally just a piece of wood, but it's just hanging off. It's not being put together very well. It's like random pins and stuff. Anyway, so that's why I'm unfit. That's why I'm out of breath. And I know that if I keep it up, it will affect training and other stuff as well. But it was a conscious decision. Like I say, it's mostly used upon ice cream, to be honest. The dairy-free ice cream is never that good. Yeah. I'll do another set, and then I'll carry on talking about whatever. Right, set 3. That still was only okay. Still wasn't that difficult. But I can feel that, like, if I don't concentrate, I won't get it. But it's not that hard. It's a strange one, really. But, I mean, the first set was a PB. I've done 3 sets. there's just one more to go. So if I can do that, that'd be great. A couple of weeks ago, I failed rep number 5 on set number 4 at 90. So if I can hit it with 92.5, that'd be a real good progression. I started the incline bench. It was before last competition, and I think the first session I did 65 for sets of 6, and the third set, the 6th rep was a proper RPE 10. So I made real fast progress on it. First 3-4 weeks, and then now it's just small, slow chipping away at it. And it's still improving, obviously, but nowhere near as fast. But I have been in a deficit, so that obviously impacts things. And then now, deficit is more or less done. So I'm a couple of kilos heavier. It's going to sound really silly. I'm a couple of kilos heavier than I actually am because of having the lactose. I will have more systemic inflammation and be holding on to more water weight and whatnot. So just removing that, I'll probably drop another kilo or 2. So then I'll be at like 88, 89-ish, which is the lowest I hit during the cut. But because I'll be eating more, my glycogen and gut weight will also be higher. So probably over the next week or 2, I'll end up at the same weight, but I will look leaner because there will be less bloating and stuff, and more glycogen and whatnot, so I'll get a better pump. So at the minute, not really getting much in the way of a pump. Well, I've got a bit of a pump, but it's not like veins popping out pump. I mean, I never really get proper veins popping out pump, except for when I'm very lean, because of where I sit. So the plan now, so it's December, the competition's in February. Let's have a look at dates. So today is the 27th of December. So if we start from next week, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks till competition. So let's say beginning of next week, I'm 91 kilos. So then I've got 8 weeks. So if I gain up to half a kilo a week, that would be 4 kilos. So then I would get up to 95 kilos. At the last competition I did, I weighed in at 94 kilos. So this time I'll be 95 kilos. I will probably do a tiny baby smidgen cut if I am 95 to compete at under 93, so that I can actually compete in the weight class that's closest to my weight. But if I'm more than about 96, I won't bother, because 2 kilos when gaining weight is easy to drop in a day or 2. And I won't do a water cut. I will literally just, the day before, I'll still have the same amount of calories as normal, but I will replace higher volume food with lower volume food. So for example, potatoes. I'll drop potatoes and have Haribos instead, so it's less physical weight in my body. That combined with I'll finish eating earlier in the day than normal should be enough to get from 95 to 93. And if it's not, I won't be doing anything extreme. So like I say, if I'm 96 or even more, then I'll just compete in the higher weight class and not bother. Ideally, it would be good to compete at similar weight. So I was 94 point something. So even if I compete at 94 point something, then I would know that I'm competing at the same body weight. So then if I lift more, I'm stronger at the same body weight. So I must have gained some muscle, lost some fat. I have definitely got stronger in that case. So that'll be the plan. In terms of specific numbers, it's difficult to know right now because training is very much not peaked. It's all like background stuff, a lot of ticking over. Obviously bench has been, so we'll go through lifts. So squat. The squat hasn't really been progressing, but I haven't been pushing it. I've been doing the singles once a week, and then the other session has been front squats and beltless squats. The beltless squats have been progressing, but not much. I'm only up to like 215 for doubles. The front squats, I've only done them I think 3 sessions, so they've not really progressed much. Bench has progressed, so the bench background base volume has gone up significantly. So from, I think at the start of this specific block, I could just have a look and tell you. So we're on week 5, week 1, incline bench was 85 for 3 sets of 5. So I've worked up to 92.5 for 4 sets of 5. So an extra set and 7 kilos. So that'd be pretty cool. The paused bench started at 130 for 3 sets of 2, and I did 135 for 4 sets of 2. So that's progressed. Dumbbell stuff has progressed. Close grip bench, I started the block at 80 and I do 90, 95, maybe even 100. I'll probably do 100 this week, so that will have progressed. All the dumbbell and stuff like that, obviously I am progressing it, but I'm not like chasing specific numbers, it's how I do it. And then deadlift, not really progressed anything on deadlift. So deficit deadlifts, I've not actually done them at all this block. I've been doing stiff leg deadlifts, like Romanian deadlifts with 60 to 100 kilos all block. Hamstring curls, I only started doing them again like 2 weeks ago. And that's it really. So squat and deadlift hasn't really, it's not been pushed. Bench has been improving, but I have spent the last few weeks getting leaner. So once I actually get into, it's a weird one because obviously I'm training, but it's not proper training. I mean, the fact that I've been sat here talking for probably about 10 minutes should tell you that. Yeah. Right. Last set. I feel like I just got hit with a wave of tiredness. It's strange. Come on, last set. Best set. That was fine. I can proper feel the stuffiness. Right, what's next? Stop whining, get on with some training. So incline bench, dumbbell press, nope. Dumbbell laterals, nope. Push downs, I could do push downs. See what this stack is like for that. So I'm just going to pause you and I'll put you back on in a sec. So I was gonna do push downs using this bar, but for some reason I don't have enough carabiners, so I would need 3. I suppose I could use that bar. Let's try it and see. The straight bar push down, I sometimes find it irritates my elbows, and given that they've been bothering me recently, I didn't want to make them worse. So I'll see what this is like. Seems alright, but obviously until I actually put some weight on it, I don't know if it'll be any good. I might need to put some WD-40 on this as well. I don't know if I've got any here. I know I've got some at the gym for definite. I'm not 100% sure what the weighting is like on that. Like, do I use 5 kilos or do I use 50 kilos for push downs? I'll try 5 aside. That seems like a sensible amount of weight to use, and see how that goes first. And then make an educated guess based on that. Oh, also, I need to put the tape on, don't I, for the incline height. So I've got my markings for it. Right. Ooh, slippery. Yeah, that's not enough weight. Try 30 in total. And see how that one goes instead. It's one of those things where, like, until you actually use it, you don't know where how it sounds ridiculous. You don't know how heavy this weight actually is until I'm actually using it. That's not going to be the right height for squatting from, is it? That's going to have to be one higher. So, put a bit of tape on here. That could be Rach. You know what, earlier on actually, when I said it could be Rach, I should have thought, because she's gone to train at a class, so it will have a set finish time, and that will have been way too early for that. So this is set of 8 to 15. Well, that's ridiculous. That's too heavy. So we'll try 20 instead of 30. So 10 is nowhere near enough. 30 is way too much. That's the other thing as well. With some cables, the weight progression on them is real aggressive. This is clearly one of those. See how this is. See that's irritating both my elbows. So I don't think that the cable is the one. I don't think that the straight bar is the one. So I've got this handle. So I'll go with the handle. And obviously I'm going to need to use a lot less weight. What a fun game this is. So I'll try 2.5 on each side and see what that one's like instead. So this is like, it's like a bit fun figuring this out, but right now, to be honest, I would rather get this over with because I'm aware of how much food I've still got left to eat, which is very much a first world problem, I know, but it's still something that needs to be done. That's no good either. I don't know why I didn't think of this. So I've been doing these tricep extensions on this session. So I think what I might need to do is just do this when I do my bench at ASC at the weekend. So there's nothing else from that session. Seated row. I can't do seated row here because that attachment, I don't have enough carabiners for. So I think this is everything that I can do here. I mean, obviously I can put my weights away, so I'll do that so that future me doesn't have to deal with it. That's like, so the session was overall okay. I didn't really do that much. All I did was bench and incline bench, and then not do accessories, and then now my elbows hurt. That's great. Have you ever seen the Mark Bell video? I think it's called Duck Your Elbow, or something like that. Whenever my elbows hurt, it just makes me think of that. It makes me laugh. So, yeah, that's it for today. I will see you whenever my next session is. Take care.